Hello there everyone and welcome to Craft Your Life Project Kit Casual Bouquet Layering Guide video. First up, let's take a look at all of the products that you will receive in the kit. So first up, we have a 6x8 stamp set, which includes 4 different images, as well as lots of beautiful sentiments. As well as that, we also have the coordinating die set, which is going to cut out all of the images from the stamp set. To colour those in, we also have a simple colouring stencil set, which includes 4 6x6 stencils and a 3D embossing folder. So first up, I've stamped all of the images from the stamp set onto some white cardstock. So I've taken the first stencil and this is going to pop into place onto the image with the larger flowers. And I'm going to place in the little vines down the leaves first. This one I am going to be using the mangrove root ink to add those in. I'm then going to slide the stencil up and I'm going to colour in half of the leaves using the beautiful marshland ink. Once that has been done, I can then move this stencil up again and then add in the second part of the leaves using the sea forest ink. So once the leaves are done on this one, I'm just going to clean this stencil off. Reason being, the other image with the larger flowers is a mirror image of this one. So I'm just going to flip that over and I'm going to do exactly the same like I did with the other one with this stencil here. So I have the mangrove root for the little vein in the middle of the leaf. One of the half of the leaf I'm going to go in with the marshland, and then the second part of the leaf we're going to go in with the sea forest ink. I can then move the stencil over to the side and clean that later on. I'm then going to take the second stencil and I'm going to add that into place onto those larger flowers. And for these petals here, I am going to be using the pastel sunrise ink. Once that's done, I'm going to move the stencil down and I'm going to add in these petals here using the Canyon clay ink. Move that stencil again to add in the rest of the petals using the burnt red ink. And then once that's done, I can move the stencil again and add in the flower centers using the Misty More ink. Again, as before, I'm going to clean off this stencil and then flip this over so I can add the same colours in to place onto the other mirrored image. So we're going to be using the pastel sunrise for the first lot of leaves, then the canyon clay, Once that has been done, we can then move that stencil over again and then add in the last layer of leaves using the burnt red, and then the flower centers we'll be adding in as before using the Misty More ink. Once that's done, I can remove the stencil and then we're going to move on to stencil number 3. I'm going to add that into place for the veins and the branches on this image here with the smaller flowers. Again, we're going to be using the mangrove root for this one. I'm then going to add in the half of the leaves, the same as before, using the marshland ink, and then the second half of the leaves using the sea forest. We can then clean this stencil off as before. We're going to flip that over and then we're going to add that into place onto the mirror image that we have for this image too. So we're going to use the mangrove root first as before, then we're going to be using the marshland for half of the leaves, and then we're going to be using the sea forest for the rest of the leaf images. Once that's been done, we can move this stencil away and then move on to the fourth and final one. This is going to colour in the flowers, so I'm going to pop that into place onto the petals. For these first petals here, I am going to be using the icy water ink to add in that blue colour there. I'm going to then move that stencil over and add in the rest of the little petals that we have. So for this second layer of petals, I will be using the Winter Lake inks. I'm then going to add in the rest of the petals using the Arctic Mountain ink. Once that's done, we can then add in the flower centers as before. I will be using the Misty More ink. Once that's done, we can remove that stencil, give it a little clean, and then flip that over so we can add this into place onto the last and final image. We're going to use the same colours as before, so we'll be using the icy water for the first layer of petals, move the stencil over, then add in the Winter Lake, move the stencil over again, and then add in the Arctic Mountain to add in the rest of the petals. Once that's been done, we can move that stencil again to add in the flower centers and the berries using the Misty More ink. And that is all of the layering complete. We really do hope this video helps. Thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you again really, really soon. Bye bye.